Hey, what's up, bro?
What's going on? One of the first things I note is that you have all the official background and everything. Guess got the furniture decoration, and I have
Yeah, you got a white wall.
I got and my witness protection lighting on. Uh,
That's
mm,
funny. No, I mean, I think about sometimes like sprucing up my background. A lot of people are using the virtual backgrounds, and I don't like the virtual backgrounds.
nah, I don't know, man.
I'm
I
like,
don't know.
I mean, my stuff it's not that bad.
Yeah,
I mean, if you're listening on podcast, you obviously can't see, but if you're watching the video, then you can see. It's not that bad. I got a bookshelf, and
yeah.
I did look at. I was looking at one of my older videos from what was I looking? It was something on my YouTube channel or something, and you know the gorilla mask.
Oh yeah.
It's like right there in the video. It was up on that shelf, and that was
Uh-huh.
all I could see the entire video. Like I'm sure like other people saw it and were like, "What the fuck is that mask up there?" Like you know how you be
Yeah.
watching some of these videos and you just be like,
Well,
you just
yeah,
look
I
around
know.
the background. I know I do. I should keep it quiet because I know Joanna's still sleeping, but over
Uh,
here it's early morning. But yeah, I just be like, sometimes I should probably like pick some stuff up, but I don't have much. I got books and I put Sirius and Limnick here for those of y'all
uh-huh.
can see.
Yeah, yeah.
Like get a little advertisement going,
Uh-huh.
and yeah, that's that, man. But
No, man, I moved into so what happened is that I bought this chair in my office, and actually when I first moved here to Georgia, no, you can't see it because it's right actually next
oh,
to
okay. I'm looking
oh
for a chair. I was like, it looks like you're
no, you
just like
can't. There's nothing
sitting
here.
on a stool or something. I don't
No,
see.
no, no. And actually, I need to raise my chair a little bit. But man, when I first moved here, I wanted to get this recliner. It's really, and I put it on layaway because they offered layaway, and I was like, well, then shoot. You get to put as much money down as you want as you go, and once it's paid off, it's paid off.
Mm,
And I'm here, and I'm moving a bunch of furniture here into my house and everything, and I have to buy actual appliances, and pay
yeah.
things, and closing costs and whatever. And I mean, I'm not strapped for cash, but I mean, to me, an
Yeah, yeah.
$800 lounge chair
Yeah,
when that's just a lounge chair, and I didn't
that's
even
a
have a
fancy
basic.
chair.
Exactly. I didn't have a
$800.
basic bed, so it was just kind of priorities
Yeah.
and things and, utilities and stuff, but I finally decided to go, and I told Shanna, I was like, "I'm gonna go pick up this chair because I don't know, I think it's time." So I went down to the furniture store, and, they were like, "No, man, that chair's gone." Because, it had been sitting there, and I came in, like, randomly after a month and put down $1,
Mm.
and I hate to insult their inventory process, but I just didn't feel like it, and I mean, I read something that said, you can tell how a person saves by how they handle layaway or something like that. And I don't know if it was like a wise man's quote or whatever, but
Wise homie. You could
wise
tell.
homie, the homie says, "Now you watch
The
how this,
homie say. What did he
yeah."
say?
He said, "Watch how this cat here does his layaway." It tells you a lot
I know.
about him.
Tell you a lot
It,
about
it
that fool.
actually did. It actually did because I said, "Yeah, well, I want this chair." He said, "You want to pay a little now?" I said, "How much can I pay?" He said, "Pay anything." I said, "I'll pay 10 cents." He said, "Yeah." I said, "You shouldn't have told me that."
Wow.
So no, and I put down the dollar. But anyway, so about 2 months ago, I went to go pick it up,
Mhm.
and the chair's like automatic, and it does the lumbar thing, and I got the you got the I don't know if it's here it is right here. It is the handle to like the thing here, so
Okay,
when
good.
I
Now I
plug
can
it
see.
in, I can recline and all that. So
Nice.
anyway, bottom line is that
It is fancy.
it's like being taken up to the heavens every night.
Yeah.
So I have to choose between sleeping in the bed and sleeping on the chair, man. I love this chair though. Like I'll sleep
Nice.
in the chair. Um, so but
Mm,
that said, um, yeah, man, it's really, really comfortable. And my office setup is just so to where I mean, I got all kinds of computers and stuff in here, but it's not really for podcasting or
Yeah,
it's
yeah, you don't have
structures.
a I know, I got, like, the microphone, like, somebody asked me that the other day, it was like, "Man, I love your rig," and I was
Uh-huh.
like, "What rig?"
The
Like,
setup, man.
"The
Yeah, you got
setup,"
the
and I was
and
like,
the microphone and the
"Headphones,
headphones and stuff
a
and
microphone?" Um,
yeah.
okay, yeah, I did set it up to where I have it, like, by my desk because I do, I do so much podcasting now and live
Mhm.
streams and stuff, especially being over here in Japan. It's like, yeah, it's nice to have the mic just here,
Yeah.
and I literally just slide it over if I wanna record something or I wanna get on Zoom, and the audio is just better,
Mhm.
you know? And I got a bet I invested in a or I got it was a gift from a friend
Mhm.
actually. Got a better camera because I was dealing with a grainy camera, man, and I was like I was doing so many videos, live streams, I
Yeah.
was like, "Man, I just can't. I gotta get a better camera." So, homie
Yeah.
hooked it up, and so looking a little bit more official now, which
Okay. That's cool.
is good, man, because here we are in 2023. Happy New Year, bro.
Happy New
Um,
Year.
yeah, it's 2023, and I'm like, we haven't talked like creativity in our like projects in a while.
Yeah.
So that's what I wanted to
Yeah,
like
exactly.
get into. Like, cause last time I think our last episode was like 3 months ago, man. We felt
Yeah, I
like
know.
I think
Well, I mean,
I mean
I mean,
we
the
had stuff going
we
on.
yeah, I mean, we talked, but
We've talked, but
we haven't done this
we
in a
haven't
while. Yeah.
done this, and the fans
Yeah.
have been ravenous. Our 3
It's just like, "When you gonna do another one?"
one
Yeah.
of them is our cousin, and
Uh-huh.
he's like he said that did you see that text? Like, it was a
No.
couple of months ago. He was like, "I've been spreading the gospel about 2 brothers talking." And then
Awesome.
my old roommate was like, "When are y'all gonna do another one?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "I don't know, whenever we
I
get
mean,
around to it." I
we
mean, it's
exactly, because it's 2 brothers talking. It's I mean, it's literally when we feel like talking is when it's
we
done,
don't
you
have
know?
a shooting schedule. We don't have a
Yeah,
producer. We don't
yeah.
have a booker. We just turn it on, and that's it.
I mean
That's all that
I mean,
happens.
you know, here's another secret about that chair I mentioned, like, I literally rolled out of bed, like, I was asleep, I was taking a nap, so,
I mean, and I
like
just got up. It's 7 AM over here
yeah.
in
I
Japan
mean,
as we're
like,
recording this, so
literally, and probably both of us, right? We started this at 5 o'clock PM my time. I was asleep at 4:56. I was, but
yeah, man. See, this is
yeah,
how we do. There's no
this is
green
how we
room.
do it.
I was eating breakfast, like, I was just getting ready, man.
Yeah,
But yeah, man, I wanted to talk about that because I don't know what you've been up to, but man, things are just all this time, I feel like when we started this podcast, a little over a year ago, we've been kinda teasing stuff. We've been like, "Oh, you
uh-huh,
just wait.
yeah,
Get on the email list. Y'all sleeping
yeah,
on us,
yeah,
blah, blah,
yeah,
blah,"
yeah.
all this stuff. Bro, at least on my end, I don't know specifically about what's going on with you,
Mhm.
but on my end, things are blowing up, man. December
It's
was a
happening.
huge month.
Very
Um,
cool.
just a couple of quick highlights. Sirius and Limnic, my sci-fi audio drama podcast, that hit that almost got an all-time high for downloads, for monthly downloads.
Alright,
It missed it by
alright.
like 5 downloads.
Dang.
And
Okay,
but I
okay.
mean, the the promising factor is that I only put out 1 new episode.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
usually it only grows if I put out like more episodes, obviously.
Mhm.
But yeah, only 1 at the beginning of the month, and then I put out
Yeah,
1 at the very end, like kinda encouraging people um like give feedback because
yeah.
we hit 10,000 downloads last month in
Yeah,
December, so that
yeah,
was a
that's
huge
right, that's
metric.
right, and congratulations on that, by the way.
Thank you, yeah,
Mhm.
but yeah, just
I
getting
mean, because
feedback.
and to kind of appreciate that, right? This is full package. We were there from nothing. Like,
I
I mean,
know,
I just remember
I know,
I was sitting there, I was working, I remember our conversations, I was working at the college, right? And then I
yeah.
was talking to you on the phone, and you were like, "Man, should I even write this thing?"
It's been
And
nearly 2 years since we
y
published, and
yeah,
2 years this month, and it's
awesome.
like where it's come where it's gone is just amazing,
Yeah.
and then the other huge metric is my breakout YouTube channel. My
Mhm.
Hack Studios, Hayden Academy Collective Studios YouTube channel 1 Jan had 11 subs.
Yeah.
11. The channel was essentially dead. Like,
Mhm.
I hadn't
Mhm.
posted on it in months. I had like 5, 6 videos, maybe 10. And then I did this Chat GPT. If you haven't heard of Chat GPT, just go Google it and you'll just see it's kind of it's basically put AI on the map as far as like the mainstream consciousness goes. But anyway, I
Mhm.
did an early training on that just because I found the tool, I liked it. I used it for a couple of things, and this video blew up. It was like it blew up in my sense, right? For me,
Mhm.
my channel top video had like 50 views. This video has 22K.
Yeah. That's awesome, man.
50, 22K.
22,000, bro. Yeah.
I mean, and
I'm telling you.
it's insane. So my subs, I just checked this morning. I have like 352 subs on my channel
Yeah.
now
Hey,
in 1 month.
very
I
cool.
have more subs than I have followers on YouTube on Twitter, and I've
Yeah.
been on doing Twitter for like a couple of years.
Yeah, and
And
that's so interesting because
yeah,
again, like with Sirius and Limnic and then the Chat GPT,
mm-mm.
um, video that you have, I mean, the focus is data and
Yeah,
future stuff and technology and
yep,
everything, and I mean, that's just that I mean,
yeah.
that's where you've been going.
It is, yeah, the
So,
whole creative futurist, that's still
yeah.
going. So there's that as well. The newsletter is still going strong. I actually just hit 50 email subs just this morning. Like I had a new
Mm,
sub and
mhm.
I was at 49 and 50.
Yeah,
So
okay.
of course, these are if you're listening to this and you're like 50, whatever, you know. I mean, hey, everybody starts somewhere and I just
And
there's a curve that's hit.
yes, and
Yeah.
also, I mean, the idea that it's basically just like a hobby, for the most part.
Yeah. It's
It's not something where you got other people and,
nope.
driving
It's
the
all me.
marketing and stuff like that. It's just as you feel like doing it, just like
It
this.
is
I mean, this
just like
podcast is like
this.
as you feel like doing it, whatever you're interested in, and
And I love that, man. I
pretty
love
cool.
that. I mean, we had a really good New Year's. We actually, it's a Japanese tradition to like watch the sunrise on New Year's. So we actually went and
Mm,
got a
mhm.
trailer on New Year's Eve at one of the beaches here on island. And then we
Oh,
woke up and just like stepped out to the beach. And it was a
oh,
very
very nice.
cloudy sunrise.
Uh-huh.
But we saw the sunrise and it's kind of like supposed to bring good luck. And there was a bunch of other people out there too.
Oh, very
But
cool.
and then we went, and hiked a mountain with, 2 friends, and I say mountain, right? We're on an island, so
Mm.
it's
So
not
the
a very
mountain
tall mountain.
is
You have to temper your expectations when you're on an island.
Uh-huh. It's
When you
like a
say
little hill.
mountain, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I've lived in Colorado and where
Yeah,
there's real
yeah,
mountains,
they got some mountains there. Yeah.
but, here, not so much. It's like a hill, a grassy hill, but, I mean, it was
Uh,
fun, and we did that, and yeah, we just had time out. So I guess what I'm saying, like, you're right. Like the fact that, I could take a day, days away from it, and it's like it's not really a big deal for
mhm,
me. That's huge. And that's where I'm at now to where it's like at first it was the problem of discovery.
mhm.
How do you put stuff out and just get anybody to take a peek, as a no name author. And I'm sure if you're listening to this, maybe you're like that. You got a little tiny YouTube channel or you got, you just have this hobby thing that you like doing. It's like, how do you break through, cut through the noise? And now I'm at the point where not only have I cut through at least a little bit, but it's like self-sustaining. Like people are finding this huge library of back catalog of my writing, my videos, my books, and that
Mhm,
brings people in. It becomes this kind of they call it a flywheel to where
mhm.
once it starts spinning, it's self-sustaining. You don't have to do any pushing anymore. It's like all your past stuff keeps rolling around. People keep giving you
Yeah.
feedback, and then
Mm,
I don't have really a monetization method set up to where it's like reliable. But this is the playbook that a lot of
yeah.
people rock is that once you get enough stuff, then all your stuff out there, you just keep nudging it and putting stuff out. You know, you become
Mm,
one of these
mhm.
prolific creators that can step out. You can be a Brad Pitt or something and be like, I don't feel like doing a movie this year.
Yeah.
You know, whatever. You could just be
Yeah,
one of
man.
those creators. You can be one of
Yeah.
those big ones that steps out. what's his name? The composer that did Chrono Trigger. Uh, Yasunori Mitsuda. You could be
Ooh,
this
yeah.
guy where
Uh-huh.
anything he touches is gold because it's like
Yeah.
he's he's Chrono Trigger. You know,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
he's the famous composer, and you can be one of those who just kind of steps down and be like, "Well, have you heard my other stuff? You should probably listen to that first." And then I'm working on some new stuff too, and you probably won't
Uh,
like it. So it
uh,
just kind of becomes that self-sustaining thing. And I think I was talking to Ryan about this just a couple of days ago. I caught up with him, and the fact that I've done it all myself
yeah.
is you just can't ignore that. Like, well, when you find it, because most people have like these teams and stuff and production and things like that. But when it's
Mhm.
like when I wrote last night, I put Serious and Limnic on YouTube, and I wrote Serious
Alright.
and Limnic is written, edited, scored, produced,
Uh-huh.
directed by Steve Hayden,
He stars in it, does all the
starring
voices. No, not all
Steve
the voices,
Hayden.
but still, yeah, yes.
Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah.
it's just a rare thing.
Yeah,
It's rare
yeah,
that somebody will do all of those things and then like publicly say, I do all of these things
yeah.
and like come out with a decent bit of quality. Like obviously I'm not an expert in any of these things, but if you listen to the podcast, it's good enough. It's like
Mhm.
it's listenable, it's clear enough, you can hear what it's about. And if you like the story, you can enjoy it. But
Yeah.
anyway, man, 20 that's me going into 2023. What's going on your end?
So, I talked to you maybe like a couple of weeks ago, right? We
Yeah.
didn't do the show, but the highlight of the end of my year was a catastrophic hardware failure.
Ah,
Um, so and as I
yeah.
told you, so my hard drive with I think it's 5 years, like the last 5 years worth of work just died.
Blew up.
I was moving this nice little setup here that I got, and it slid gently behind the thing and dropped 1 foot. Started ticking the next day, and then the day after, just gone. Right now, I'm trying to back it
Oh,
up, and it tells me that it's gonna take something like maybe 80 days or 90 days to try to get it transferred. If I can recover it, I don't even know. But anyway, lost everything pretty much.
damn.
Pretty
That
much.
is
But now here's the upside of that. I remember there was that quote. There was some rapper. He was either on Jerry Springer or he was on the Richard Bey show. It was one of those 2, like, scandalous. It was night, it was one of those night shows that
Yeah,
is,
yeah. Yeah.
sensational stuff. Freestyle, he's in his hood, and you know, he's like, "Yeah, well, if you if you can't repeat the feat, you're doomed to get beat." That's what he said.
If you
And what he
can't
was saying, yeah, yeah, man, if you can't repeat the feat, you're doomed to get beat. And what he was saying is that if you as hard as you say, if you're as good as you say, you'll spit it out again. So,
I got you. Got you.
so,
Right, right.
bro,
I like that.
I lost my music, I lost all my workflows, like my videos that I post on my little YouTube
Yeah,
channel and
you have
stuff like
your
that.
YouTube channel. Yeah.
I can't get to them. They that's it, they're gone. And
Yeah,
so I was like, "Man, I don't know the R." People think when you program, you know this stuff.
I know.
Okay, yeah, but take it away though.
You know it in the moment, especially with
You know it in
coding.
the moment,
It's
and
like
you know what you
run
copied and
fire and
pasted
then
from Stack Overflow to solve your
exactly.
problem.
Yeah.
But when it's gone,
You
I
don't know
mean,
it cold.
so
Nobody
so
does.
I
It's
was
just too much. It's too much.
exactly, exactly. So I was back on Stack Overflow saying, "Okay, how do I use the Swiss ephemeris for my Astro stuff?"
Mhm.
And put it together. Fast forward, man. About 2 weeks later, I went back to legacy hard drives, recovered some music and things like that, built a brand new, bigger, badder, meaner, fiercer,
Mhm.
like killer Astro workflow in Nime, all put
Mm.
together. Crazy research. It does 6 Synastry charts stacked, like, it could draw the mess,
Whoa.
like, the chart wheel?
Yeah, yeah.
6. I could make it do 20 if I wanted, if my eyes were ready to, like,
Wow.
handle the strain for it. It's just a for loop. The point is my previous stuff, I mean, I just obviously had to rebuild. That
Wow.
was the highlight of the end of my year because to be honest,
Yeah.
man, that's I published my book as well out there. several books, and one of them
Yeah.
is Laurentia. It has the translations, but
Mhm.
now my kind of silent project. I say silent because I've been kind of avoiding online stuff like that as I do,
Mhm.
and so I'm trying to interpret these 21,000 asteroids. I'm now up to a little bit over 80, 8,300 asteroids. So I
Mhm.
actually sat there over the course of these 9 months, 10 months, and looked at the text mine and said, okay, this is the asteroid of whatever. This is the asteroid of next. This is the asteroid, and
Yeah.
all my observations. And really, I feel like the approach I want to take for this next year regarding the book of contours and asteroids and stuff
Mm.
is more
Yeah.
of a like a Darwin type stuff.
Hmm.
He's going off to the Galapagos and he's just making his observations.
Yeah.
He's not trying to necessarily revolutionize stuff because I mean, nobody knows this. Nobody really he's just coming up with ideas, right?
Right.
So for me, I think when I start to write contours, I'm going to do it from the perspective of somebody who is just exploring this stuff because
Mm.
really the types of assumptions that you have to make in
Mhm.
order to really like buy into that
Yeah.
book, they're
Yeah.
all built in the previous six. So
Mhm.
if you
I
didn't
know.
read Alma
That's
Mater or
tough.
Laurentia or
Yeah.
144, especially those three,
Yeah.
then you're not gonna know why I'm not using Pluto or what you're just not gonna
Mhm.
know anything.
Yeah.
And so anyway, but the idea is that it's the research is underway. Um,
Nice.
much of the major stuff has been rebuilt. I'm I think for this year I plan to be much more, believe it or not, reclusive, even more reclusive.
I
In
don't know
terms
how
of
that's possible.
yeah, okay, look, so what I was thinking, I was like, man, if people wanted me to read their chart or something, like how would they find me? Because I mean,
Ain't
I'm
no
not.
way.
Yeah, almost no way. There's almost no way. And what I concluded is, I guess you have to know somebody
Who
who knew me
knows
somewhere.
it?
Like if there's one person at every place I've been. I think it's only one. Like every job, every school, there's like one person who got me on speed dial. There's only one, right? And you need to talk to
No
them.
witnesses. If Ajani comes to
Well,
work with you or do anything with you, there's gonna be no one left behind to tell the tale
there's
except for one person. You leave one
one
person
person, bro.
alive and send them away and be like, "Now you know who I am.
Yo, it's,
Don't tell
and
anybody."
the thing is, like, I so this morning, I actually did post a brand new YouTube video,
Oh,
and yeah, I did, man. I went on there because I found the asteroid of children. Because sometimes people are cheeky in the very beginning, you're reading
yeah.
astro charts, and they're like, "Hey, what are my children gonna be like? Tell me what my kids are gonna be
Mm.
like." I'm like, "Man, I can't tell you that." "Okay, well, I kinda can." So there's like, an asteroid, number 28376, Atif Javed. I just found it this morning, bro.
Mm.
If you know anybody who's interested in, like, looking at what their kids are like or
Mm.
what's wrong with their kids or something like that, Atif Javed is basically the asteroid of what you put out in the world.
Mm.
Like, the kids that you like, what kind of
Right.
miscreants did you let go? Oh,
Mhm.
what kind of scholars or kings or queens or whatever did you release on the upon the
Right.
everyone else? And it was kinda cool looking at it. Like, I looked at your chart. I'll tell you
Mhm.
about that
Oh,
offline,
oh,
just because.
no. I don't know if I wanna know. I don't know if I wanna
It's
know.
so
Joanna
it's
might
funny.
wanna know, but
It's
I don't
okay.
know.
Nah, if you don't wanna know, I won't tell you, man. That's okay.
Eh,
We leave it
w
at a
okay, we'll talk
goodbye.
offline. We'll
We
talk
talk
offline.
offline, yeah. Anyway, so and obviously I looked at my chart because that's how I found the thing. And,
Yeah,
as somebody who don't ever want kids, I
that's
use my
funny.
books. So, it
Yeah,
was really kinda neat.
that's true.
Like, I saw the books, and the books were like, "Your asteroid is in Scorpio 5. This is
Mhm,
why you would produce kids for the sake of projecting influence." I'm like,
mhm,
"Oh, books. Duh."
mhm,
Right? So, man, I looked at that, I looked at mom and dad's chart, and it's really,
mhm.
like, interesting. Theirs is
Yeah, I
interesting
bet if you walk it
because
back, yeah.
yeah, because their asteroids, of course, describe us, the
Mhm,
3 of us. So that's like, you know, but it's been fun. I'm my main thing for 2023, I guess, to kind of wrap all this up is that, you know, like I just I it's more of like a naturalist type thing. I
Mhm.
wanna study the biology, I wanna study and, like, the nose, when
Yeah.
the nose comes together, there's a fusion that takes place, and you
Mhm.
start off, you look kinda like a frog, and then you know,
Mhm.
you're
Yeah, yeah,
sprouting, and
yeah.
then
Then
all
you
the
wake
stuff
up.
is the nodal cord and the heart is forming and stuff like that,
Yeah,
and I
interesting.
wanna study that, and
Wow.
for the longest time, I've just been like, "Man, I wanna start an educational facility and maybe
Mhm.
teach it," but
Yep.
man, you don't have time to really scrounge for the support that's not coming,
Yeah. No.
and it's not, um I'm not feeling all bad about it, but the truth is that the work is gonna continue
Yeah.
whether or not you can
Regardless.
explain it. Bro, it
Exactly.
takes so much energy to explain it, though,
Yeah.
and I think one thing that I've noticed about both of our progress in 2022 is that we did kinda pull away from this this the easy explanation of
Right.
what we do and how
Mhm.
much. Maybe like a year ago when we started the
Exactly.
podcast, we were both working on stuff, and they're like, "Hey, what are you doing? What are you working on?" And you could tell I'm working on music. But now Hack
Mhm.
Studios is like,
Yeah.
you got
Exactly.
you got the book over here, the podcast over here, and then you got the Chat GPT stuff over
Mhm.
there. And of course, we talked offline about this, but that was another one of those things that
Yeah.
somebody in Nime, for anybody who uses Nime Analytics, which is that's my weapon of choice,
Mhm.
right? For anybody who uses Nime Analytics, somebody immediately made a workflow that talks to the chat, to the OpenAI
Yep. Mhm.
API. And I was sitting up there, thanks to my brother here, thanks to you. You're just like, "Hey, man, check out this Open API." And I mean,
Mhm.
Open AI. And I'm like, man, I'm a late adopter, really. I mean, they pay me to do tech, but I freaking hate tech. Just, I mean,
Right.
I mean, I
Traditional
don't,
tech. I know what you mean.
but
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, let's get
Yeah.
nerdy, let's get coding. I'm
I
like,
know.
please go
Yeah.
home. You know what I'm saying?
That brand of
So
tech.
that brand of tech, they're like, "This is the"
No.
exactly, "This the future is whatever." I'm like, "Look, if it ain't got no concepts and ain't got no sociology behind it, I don't care." So,
Yeah.
anyways, but, um, yeah, I sat here and I said, "This is what Keith was telling me about." I
Mhm.
downloaded the dang node. 1 node, bro. 1 node. Dragged it into 9, put in a couple of my asteroid patterns,
Yeah.
like, it just cut and paste the pattern, and I said, "Okay, let's see what you can do." And the open AI made some sentences for me.
Mhm. Yeah.
Now, I'm not gonna be using those sentences in the book because they don't have the psychology edge for, like, counseling and stuff.
Right.
If you find
Yeah.
the asteroid of divorce, I really don't need for the AI to tell me this is the asteroid of divorce. I'm
Yeah.
like, "Well, no, I need for the translation in my book to tell the people, this is what it means, and this is how we understand it, and this is how
Right.
you
Yeah.
mitigate and stuff like that." So, AI is not gonna know all that.
Yeah.
But
It can.
it was impressive, but, just technology-wise, it's too far along. I mean, I can't even explain it,
I know.
so
Yeah. Yeah. The just a quick thing on the Chat GPT thing, because obviously, I made that video and then I've seen and used it, and I've just read and seen a lot of it, especially since I'm on Twitter. Um, and that's where it shows its limitation, what you're talking about. Like, at least for now, it's going to get better. And everyone, I don't know if you've heard of GPT-4.
mm, no.
GPT, so Chat GPT is the foundational technology is called GPT 3.5.
Mhm,
And it's the large language model that was previously like responsible for like helping you autocomplete. And basically it can guess what you're gonna say or what the next word is or whatever. You know about this. I'm
mm,
really just explaining it for people that are listening. But um GPT-4 is set to come out first quarter this year,
mhm,
2023. And it's supposed to be like people I've seen a bunch of tweet threads on it. Like people said like Chat GPT has or GPT-3 has like 175 billion parameters. I'm
mhm,
probably gonna get this wrong. So if I'm saying it wrong and you're like fact checking me, then okay, go get the exact numbers. But
yeah,
GPT-4 is supposed to be like 1 trillion parameters or something like that. Something crazy, some order
yeah,
of magnitude that's just like you can't even imagine how much more powerful it's going to be.
yeah.
And
I
the point
mean
is, I'm only bringing it up because right now it's very limited. Like it can't synthesize stuff. It can't like make like the creative futurist. It can't take two.
Yeah.
disparate things and then mash them together to make something
Yeah.
new. Not yet, at least.
Yeah, Shannon and I, it was very cool. We had New Year's, this is related.
Mm,
New Year's last night, for
nice.
us, and, we were out in the dog's yard, and the sky's very clear out here in Georgia. I mean, it's beautiful. So
Mm,
we were just kinda looking up. We had our little champagne stuff, and we were just, like, looking at the stars, and I was looking at Orion's belt, and I was like, "You know, these 3 stars are, like, untold numbers of light years away from each other, and
mm,
they have no idea that these little aliens, however many zillions of not zillions, but millions or billions of light years, even farther,
mhm.
group them together like they're next to each other on a table."
Right.
And I mean, if those 3 stars had a consciousness or a will,
Mm,
would they even know that
right.
the other 2 stars in the belt were, like, strongly associated with, would they even know? And and I think about that in the context, and we talked about that for, like, 30 seconds because it was just one of those pensive moments. But,
Mm,
in the context of AI, this is what came up. It was,
mm,
you know, with the bigger picture and
yeah.
the ability for actors that aren't anywhere near each other to somehow know that they're possibly related to other actors.
Right.
That takes a level of internal knowledge,
It does.
contextual knowledge,
Mhm.
geometric knowledge,
Yeah.
right? The
Spatial awareness,
Pleiades,
yeah, what's
exactly, the
around you.
Pleiades are all
Mhm.
clumped looking suspicious together, but
Right.
they don't know the rest of the kinda dome of the sky. It's just I don't know, GPT-3, GPT-4, okay, it's a model trained on more words and knows more complex patterns.
Right. Mhm.
Certainly
That's what it is.
can power the bots and the chats and whatever. And I told you, actually was not a hater. Usually, I'm kinda, like, skeptical
Yeah.
about things like this. But I was the word is not impressed because I mean, we work with this stuff, so you kinda know what it is.
Right. So you already
But
knew.
but I was pleased with the results of the OpenAI
Mhm.
stuff. But, man, I won't be trading my own work for it anytime soon in
Right.
terms of I mean, you
Yeah.
can use it as a tool or no, anyone can use it forever. Look, don't let me discourage anybody. But
Right.
for the level of expressivity that I require in certain things,
Yeah.
um, maybe not yet, especially if you've got people kind of riding on it, and then
Yeah.
they develop new frameworks to put them in a new kind of box. Is you have
Exactly.
to deal with you have to deal with that as well. But I'm always kinda skeptical of
And
stuff
you
like that.
see people and you're right, man. Like, and I'm the same way. Like, I've actually experimented with several of these different AI writing platforms, and ChatGPT is a little bit different than like the other ones that I've used, like Jasper AI or Closer's Copy or something like that. These are all like AI writing platforms.
Mhm.
Um, but and ChatGPT is like the next evolution of those services. But yeah, it's funny after I put out my video, like now I've seen like dozens of videos of like, oh, make $100 a day with ChatGPT and
Yeah.
use this to
Yeah.
write books, and
Mhm.
this is how I did this and that. And I'm just
Mhm.
like, I mean,
Yeah.
I think one of the reasons why my video, in addition to just luck and like it was lucky that I just happened
Yeah.
to do the video early and that it was
Yeah.
on this topic that just blew up. I had no idea it was going to blow up like that,
Mhm.
obviously. But I think I actually talk about like how I'm using it. I'm not a lot of videos like focus on the, oh, will AI take your job and them wrestling with the AI and this man versus
Yeah.
machine type of
Yeah.
framework or the fear
Mm.
based like, oh,
Yeah.
the world is over. Now it can write
Mm.
music for you. Now it can write code. And a lot of people do that fear based shit. And I don't like that. You know how we do. We kind of come from a place of education and
Exactly.
just,
Exactly.
hey, this is how I use this. Maybe how I use it is going to be helpful for you. And you can take and do. I'm not saying that I made a bunch of money with this. I still have not. I actually haven't even used it that much um,
Mhm.
since the first 2 weeks. I used it the whole first week. I made the video. and then I used it a little bit the week after because I was still working a lot because school
Mhm.
was still in early December,
Yeah.
and then I haven't really used it since.
Yeah,
So it's like, I
it's,
mean, I'm not saying I don't like it or anything. I mean, it's still there, it's still available. As far as I know, I haven't checked it like today or anything, but
mhm,
um, yeah, I think for most of the stuff that I do, I'm like, I write my own stuff. I
yeah,
write my own tweets, I write my own Substack. Like a guy put out on Twitter the other day that he wrote a full book on like post nihilism with
mhm,
ChatGPT. And
mhm,
I took a peek at the book because it's just free on GitHub.
mhm.
And it's not a bad book. I can definitely tell as someone who's used ChatGPT that it's very like used. The format is after you see it output stuff, you can just tell what is the AI.
Yes,
It's
yeah,
very
and you know what? That was one of the first things I saw right
yeah,
before I accidentally, because I found that node, through Nime itself, like, I
yeah,
wasn't looking for it. I turned on the program, and Nime has a startup screen saying, "Hey, here's some news from what's going on in the Nime community," and they're like,
right.
"Hey, look at our nodes." So I wouldn't have found it, was an accident, and the there is a so Stack Overflow, sorry, this is what I was getting to. Stack Overflow was like, "Yeah, we are not
Yeah, I saw they
accepting that."
they banned it, yeah,
They s
or they
exactly, and
whatever, they shunned
good
it
for
or
them,
whatever they did,
good for
yeah,
them, and it has nothing to do with the AI, it has to do with the genuine, as I said, trust, right? Yeah, I mean, is
exactly,
this somebody
yeah,
really trying to help someone, or is this somebody phoning it in,
mhm,
trying to when I ask for help, it's like, "Hey, let me see if I can use this mechanical arm to rescue this guy who's drowning," and
exactly,
I
yeah,
don't know,
and you
man,
and
it's
you have
like
no idea
this.
how to work the mechanical arm.
Yeah, exactly. So like the spirit of
Yeah.
what Stack Overflow is supposed to be is not, you know, mm,
Yeah, and it's the same, man, like, you've got a bunch of people I've seen several videos of people like, "Oh, I used it to write this book," or whatever, and just put this in and put that in, and it's like, ah, I don't know, man. I don't know.
yeah,
I
I
mean,
mean,
you
you
can write a
can.
whole book, and I said I have done it, but it's a guided process, like, and
Yes.
you definitely see people who are just like, just let the whole AI spit out the whole book for them, and I'm like, "That's cool," but, I mean, I'm already thinking past the point where because a lot of people are in the gee whiz phase about this stuff right now.
Yeah,
They're in the, "Oh, look how
exactly.
magical it is, look how scary it is." You see these people,
We
cashing in on the
I think
hype
we
and the
saw this.
sensationalism, but
Yeah,
it's like
and we saw this with NFTs, and I mean,
yes,
it's a good
same thing,
technology. It's
same,
still there,
same,
but the tech world
exactly.
has its trains, and
Yep,
everybody hops on the train.
yep,
Nothing wrong with the train,
mhm.
but a lot of people think that when it first comes out, it's gonna be that
Here's the
the
revolution.
gee whiz factor is lower than it is, right?
Right, right.
It's you got the new technology, and that's where like 80% of what everybody's riding is gee whiz.
I was just about to use a made up stat around that same
Yeah.
number of 80 to
Yeah,
85%
yeah.
is mostly bullshit, mostly
4 out of
overhyped.
5 people are gee whizzing it, and,
Exactly, and then
1 out of
1/5
5
1 out
have
of
to
5
build the
are
infrastructure and really
educating, they
do
are really
something with it.
building.
They will
Yes,
totally make AI books, that 1/5 and stuff like that, and they will have a, more supported holistic package of, whatever they're trying to get, but, yeah, just
right.
to plug it in and be like, "Wow, it made the whole thing. Let me make a whole
Yeah,
whole thing with this. Wow." That
and I knew
mm,
even just a week after, I think that's just the way I am, and you're like this too, to where, look, I'm the G Wiz, that phase lasted for like a day for me
yeah,
when I first discovered it, I'll be honest. But after that, I was like, okay, what's the practical use for this? How can I
mhm,
use it? And if I can use it this way, other people can use it this way. And
yeah,
it's not immediately to make money. It's not my first thought went to just efficiency and workflow. Like, how can I
yeah,
use this to optimize my workflow?
yeah,
To be like, hey, I want to write a song. What can ChatGPT help me with? I want to write a book. How can it help me? And then
mhm,
making kind of frameworks around that. And I think
mhm,
that's what I was saying about the video. I think that's one of the reasons why it's been so popular
yeah,
is that I didn't focus on the hype and the fear and the, "Ooh,
Yeah.
look what it's gonna take your job, ooh, spooky stuff."
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't focus on any of that. It was just more like, here's just kind of 3 frameworks of
Mhm.
how I see it's useful, and then I, kind of in my standard kind of teaching fashion, I kinda came up with,
Mhm.
like, best practices to get
Yeah.
more out of it faster, and I think that resonated with a lot of people, and then the fact that, I am a little funny in the video, like, I do have a couple of j you know me, I it's
I'm already laughing because you are funny, bro. Yeah.
I'll be throwing out jokes and just
Yeah.
whatever, I just be saying
Yeah.
stuff. So I think people resonated with my style, and it's just
Yeah.
been, I mean, mostly good comments of people
Mhm.
like, "Hey, this is very informative. Thank you for helping me. Great video." And then a bunch of people complaining about the subtitles that I hard coded in there, which, by the
Yeah.
way, hey, go kick rocks. Those subtitles, I'm not taking them off. Okay, you can go suck a lemon. Okay, I don't care. People will complain. Somebody just complained today. Like that's like off after like the, "Oh, this is great, very informative." That's like the
Mhm.
next most comment. Like subtitles blocking the way. Subtitles
Uh,
annoying. Like man, I mean,
fool, I didn't make this video for you.
exact,
Learn the stuff you don't
bro,
like and turn my stuff off,
bro.
bro.
And I've
You know
learned
what
to
I'm saying?
like ignore people because
Yeah.
people on internet. It used to be like,
You
we
know,
know
s
gaming culture. We know gaming
yeah,
culture to
yeah,
where
yeah,
people
yeah.
gamers just complain about everything.
Like,
It
it's
don't
stuff
matter
with,
what game you put
like
out.
somebody's their Jeeves or something,
It
like
don't matter what game you put out, what features you put in the damn game. Somebody gonna be
yeah.
like, "Well, I like this about the last one, and now they don't got it. This game trash." You can't see my face if you're listening on the podcast, but it's
Oh,
true. Now I feel like the entire most of the internet using world is like this. People are so
yeah,
used to being able to tailor their
sit in
content
their
experience,
armchair, yeah,
sit back and let the IV
evaluate.
of content just roll into them. And
Yeah,
most
yeah.
and I forget this sometimes because I am in, like, circles where people create
Yeah,
stuff. People make things. They make videos. They write stuff. They are not the typical, like, sit back and just consume stuff. That's who I those are my circles online.
yeah.
And when you get these types of comments from people, you just be like, "Yo, this ain't for you." There's,
Yeah,
like, hundreds
so
of
and
other videos.
I think that's the
Go
main
watch one of
reason
them.
that
And I even
exactly, and
say
I
that in
think
the video. I say, "If you want a video about how to jailbreak ChatGPT, this ain't the video. Go
yeah,
watch
yeah.
another one.
Okay,
I'm not gonna
okay.
talk about that." Like,
And I think that's why I really, as time goes on, get farther and farther away from accessibility
yeah.
because I
It
start
that shit is
and
annoying.
I'm really grateful for people who can, give you feedback and you post and they
Sure.
reply and
Absolutely.
stuff. I mean,
Absolutely.
that's engagement and stuff like that, but, I mean, I'm working with touchy subjects
Exactly.
and hocus
Most people just
pocus,
can't
and
understand it, man. They're
I'm
not at
not
the level.
really trying they're like that astro stuff for that body stuff
Right,
for
right.
that
Yeah.
it is like
No.
can't I don't have time to really entertain you. I mean, if you can get some value out of my stuff, then cool. But I mean, I study the body, I study the stars, all that stuff. And man, there's so much in there. If I started getting in the weeds on
Yeah.
people
Like,
getting
mechanics
squeamish or
and
people giving the thumbs down or whatever, man, I couldn't get anything done. And, like, my whole works my whole, like, span of what I do, writing all these books and stuff, it's essentially mysticism.
yeah.
I you know, and why am I gonna make myself available really, though? I mean, if folks haven't I mean, because we have all kinds of stuff out there. Like I still haven't gone to sacredtext.com in a while, but I learned a lot in college from stuff like that. And
Mm.
if you're not familiar with it or comfortable with this esoteric stuff and these holy books from other countries and
Mhm.
things like that, I mean, what am I going to give you? You know what
Right.
I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, man.
so yeah, man, I'm hard to find because I
Yeah.
don't have the
Dealing with that
bandwidth
Dealing with that
to,
stuff is annoying.
you
I mean,
know
the good thing is, like, and let me be clear, like, the response mostly from the video is mostly overwhelmingly positive. I mean,
Mhm.
people just and I think, like, me being black, that's definitely a factor as far as, like, just I've noticed a lot of just
Mhm.
brown-skinned people are
Mhm.
liking the video, like,
Oh, yeah.
Indians, Africans,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
like
Like, "We
yeah,
can do this too.
we
We
can
can
do
do this
this
too."
too, right? Like,
Yeah.
we can talk about this stuff in a way
Yeah, yeah.
and I'm not you know me, like, I'm not,
I
like,
know. Yeah,
all
yeah.
about, like, "Oh, representation matters," and blah, blah, blah. I'm not gonna get into that stuff right now, but I
Yeah.
mean, that's not really that's not my primary motivation around why I
Mhm.
do stuff, just to
Yeah.
be a black face in out there. That's not really why I do
Yeah,
stuff. I just do it in general for
yeah,
people to learn and to find things, and, you know, I just that stuff is annoying, but I try and focus on the good
yeah.
that comes out of it, and it's been overwhelmingly positive, and me as a teacher, like,
Mhm.
I see my style in there, and I know that's my style. I've always kind of
Yeah.
been that way. I'm like that in the classroom. If one-on-one, like, we're recording this, so it's obviously a little bit of a, we're gonna put this out, so we know there's a performative aspect, but
Mhm.
this is for the most part how I am. If you talk to me in real life, like, and
Yeah,
I know something that you don't know,
yeah.
and I'm interested in it, I'm gonna talk to you like that. I'm gonna
So
That's gonna be
I
my
I
style.
think I used to feel a little bit a little bit bad, um, about ways in which I could help people
Mm,
because, I mean, you like to be somebody who really does kinda answer folks and,
yeah.
you know, but I'm not really built for that. It's my stuff is institutions. I'll
Mm,
write you a law, I'll come up with a pattern, I'll map your problem. But there's certain other kinds of exchange to where, man, I could do it, but
yeah.
the dogs found this out. So Shanna had going back home for,
Mm,
Christmas, and it was just me and the dogs here. And I was here for a week, and the first thing they learned about dad is that dad don't like crying, and
mm,
they're like, for no reason though.
mm,
Like, our oldest dog, man, he he just like, "My leg." I'm
mm.
like, "There's nothing wrong with your leg, bro. Get up and walk across the house and come over here. What are you crying for, man?" It was nothing brutal or anything, nothing mean, but I'm just like, y'all will find that if you cry at me, it's
Mm,
just gonna take you that it's gonna take that much longer for you to get the biscuit or whatever,
yeah.
cause I don't wanna reward you for getting on my nerves. And so,
Mm.
like, there's this
So funny.
rapport thing, and my thing is like, "Bro, you gotta help yourself. I can help you. Have you helped yourself?" They're like,
Right,
"No, I just want somebody to, like, gee whiz for me." I'm like, I ain't the guy though."
right.
I'm not trying to
Yeah.
be a jerk, but, I mean, I ain't that guy, you know?
No.
Yeah.
No, I feel that. Yeah, I definitely I'm not as harsh like that. I don't say it's
No,
harsh.
you're not, but
I'm
it's
not,
but,
but
y y
I've definitely over the years have
you know
gotten more like,
Yeah,
you need to help yourself first.
yeah,
And that's the hard thing about the internet. I mean, you can't you just can't tell where people are at. You don't have any context.
yeah,
And I constantly remind myself that even when 1, 2 people that ship 30 for 30 class that I did last
mhm,
year, um, one of the instructors, Nicholas Cole, was like, "You may see your post and see you only got 10 views or 100 views." But he was like, "Think about if you were in a room with 100 people
mm,
and you gave the same presentation and you gave the same material or you talked about the stuff that you wrote or whatever. 100 people is a lot of people.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
a lot." And I think the scale of the internet
mhm,
diminishes that because
yeah,
we see people with millions of views, billions of views,
yeah,
billions of impressions, whatever.
yeah,
And it feels like, "Oh, I only got a couple hundred impressions or only got,
yeah,
1,000 views or something. That sucks." It's like 1,000 people is a lot of people.
yeah, that's true,
It's a lot.
that's true.
Um, 12 people is if you filled this room with 12 people, your room, that's a lot of people
Mm,
in a
mhm,
small room.
yeah,
And I think people forget that. And if you're like out there creating stuff and you're at that point right now to where you're just starting out, like your numbers are gonna be small.
Yeah, you know,
Nobody, and the real people that are, that's the numbers of people just seeing it. That's
yeah,
not, you can't tell who's really internalizing it, who's feeling it. I think of this when I'm in the
yeah,
classroom. Like, I'm sitting in front of 30 students. It looks like all 30 of them there, but they ain't. I know it.
yeah, yeah.
There's only
Mhm,
like 15 of them that are listening, only 5
mhm.
of them that are understanding, and maybe
Yeah.
1 or 2 of them that are like in enthralled. They are
Mhm.
they love it.
They love it, yeah, they
That's
into it.
about the spread. I mean, and that's very rough numbers, but that's about the spread of attention on YouTube, on any given platform, for any
Yeah,
given piece of content. Like, there's going to be a very small amount of people that are going to leave comments. They're going to leave good comments,
yeah,
informed comments, thought out, thoughtful.
yeah,
There's going to be
I've
very
seen
small
this,
people. Less.
yeah.
There's going to be more people that like leave likes. They're going to be like, oh, it moved me to
Y
like, and then
yeah,
most people
you
are going
know,
to look at it and walk away.
and
Like,
I think of that notion of scale for, not so much my efforts that I've put out, but
mm,
for the responses that are asked of me. I don't
yeah,
I think a lot of people don't really post because they know I won't answer the YouTube stuff, and I won't answer social media, they just know. And, initially, it kinda pisses people off,
yeah,
I
that is
ghost.
true.
Ghosting is a thing,
Yeah,
and but, on the same token, regarding what you're talking about, I, you know, like to hit the mark, and if
mm,
I'm gonna answer you, I want my answer to hit the mark, like,
I
you
know what you
had a
mean.
need, and when I answered first of all, you had a need, you couldn't meet it, I
Mhm,
could meet it. When
mhm,
I
mhm,
answered, the need was met. That's what I
mhm.
like,
I know what you
and,
mean.
we learned this growing up, in different ways, but certainly, especially from mom, I'll tell you once,
Mm.
and,
Yeah,
like, if I have to tell you twice, something's wrong.
yeah.
I'll tell you once, I'll tell the dogs once, and, like, they'll bark weirdly, and I'll let them bark because I know that when I tell them, "Okay, that's
Mhm,
enough," I expect it to be enough.
mm.
And, I mean, I'm not typically a hard ass because I don't do that with a lot of people, but in
No, I know
places
what you
that
mean.
matter, like our
Mm,
kids here, the dogs, um, I mean, look, Imma draw my arrow, 1 shot, that's all I
mhm.
need,
Yeah,
and I only intend to take 1. If I'm still missing or the enemy ain't dead, yo, this was not my trade. You know
mm,
what I'm saying? And
yeah,
so, my handling of contacts and social media and, keeping communication with friends and stuff like that. I'm like, am I hitting the mark or am I like a wall to talk at?
mm,
Am I a validation tool? Does somebody see something that they might have liked and then they want something a little bit more convenient? Because I know that if I post certain things and I go
mhm,
through all this trouble, because I used to
mhm.
say, this is how you do the workflow, break it down, break it down, break it down, break it down, break it
Yeah,
down.
teaching,
I'm
yeah.
introducing more questions
Exactly,
on that
yeah.
one node, and I'm feeling like I get paid for this or something. I
Mhm.
don't,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
And I mean, nobody's trying to be an opportunist, but at the same time, if I explode the zip file for you, man, I really don't. I can't handle it
yeah.
for all that stuff. So I mean, I hate
Yeah,
to be a
and
broken record and
no,
stuff,
and
but
part of it is
you know,
knowing, like, your own capacity too for it. I mean,
yeah,
that's part of the creator game, is
yeah,
saying, like, and that's one of the things that actually I just went through this just a couple days ago. I announced on LinkedIn that, "Look, I'm pretty much done with this platform." Like,
really
yeah, man,
interesting, interesting.
I don't wanna go too much into it, but I was just like,
Yeah,
basically, I was just spreading myself too thin last year.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Like, too many platforms, trying to post, like, a little slightly different stuff on it, and you got every platform, and you gotta kinda cater to the algorithm, and there's different
Yeah,
audience and
you
tone on
know,
there, and Twitter is just, it's a little bit more eccentric, it's a little bit more accepting of, like,
yeah.
weirdness, you
Yeah,
know?
okay, I see it, I
So,
see it, I see it. Yeah, and, like, you know me on LinkedIn. I'll be like, my profile's old, bro. It's like,
LinkedIn is just more
updated.
like, straight laced, and I know people
I
who crush
know.
it on LinkedIn.
Yeah, yeah,
This
yeah.
is no shade on them, but I'm just
I
like,
was
for
about to
me,
say that too. I no
I've
that
used
n
both,
no disrespect to LinkedIn,
exactly. I mean, I've used
but
both, and Twitter's better for me,
it's
and
it's
I
it's
wanna
work
double
to
down
keep
there.
up the professional image, man, and I'm
Yeah,
like,
exactly, and I be
I
posting stuff, I just be, like, kinda just raw, stuff, and it never really
Yeah, yeah,
caught fire on LinkedIn. So I was like,
yeah.
you know what? I'm just gonna push that aside and
Yeah,
just
yeah,
gonna
LinkedIn
focus
is
on.
very, it's been triple washed before it
Yeah,
gets out there,
I just and there's
uh,
other reasons why I
you
left.
know
To me, it just wasn't. Twitter's a lot more fun.
yeah,
Like, as you know, I can be on Twitter off and
yeah,
on all day and still feel like I'm getting value, like, because I'm putting a lot of value into the platform by
yeah,
posting a lot of stuff. And I
yeah,
can
yeah,
feel like I'm getting that back in the form of like people resonating with my content. But with
yeah,
LinkedIn, it
yeah,
didn't feel that way. It was just like,
yeah.
okay, I'd work on this post, I'd put it out there, and then
Yeah,
it
my
was just
LinkedIn is the last castle for me in
the
social
last
media. It's,
bastion,
like,
and
literally the last
no
one,
one's
like,
home most of the
no
time.
one exactly,
If you dinged on the door, no one's coming to
you
answer.
get a small breeze coming from the door, but there's nobody coming out, bro. I
Nah,
go on to
man.
LinkedIn once about every 5 months for a
Yeah,
random reason that known only to me, and it's not to
yeah.
troll or anything, I just there's something on there that I'm going for, and then I don't typically answer, and I don't know. My relationship with LinkedIn is kinda fun, I kinda like it. Just
No.
like, "Man,
Yeah,
is this
yeah.
guy ever gonna update things?" I'm like, "No, because I don't have to," you know?
That's kinda your thing, like,
That's my thing.
never on social media, can't be found, scarce.
Yeah.
Man, okay, I gotta tell y'all a quick story about Ajani before we wrap up. Of last 2 months, I thought this man was like I couldn't get a hold of him for, like, 2 months at the end of 2022, and it turns out I was blocked. My phone number was blocked. I called her for 2 months. I actually called our mom, and I was like, "Yo, have you heard from Ajani? Because I've been trying to call him, and I'm kinda worried." And she was like, "No, that is kinda weird," and she don't really
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
mom don't really move for stuff like that usually,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
but, like, same day, and it was late here, it was, like, afternoon here, so
Uh-huh.
it was late night over there. She must have texted you or something,
Yeah.
and then you were like, "I'm okay." I was just like, "Okay," I just making sure, and then finally we got up just, like, a few weeks ago, it was very recent, and after 2 months of silence. So, point is, the moral of the story is, if I can't get a hold of him, what do you think your chances are? Just think about it,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
But look, we keep this at like an hour, y'all. This is
Yeah.
fun. Two brothers talking. I'm glad we're doing it. I do have a quick announcement. I'm gonna put this episode out. I'm doing something through my email list, which for as a first. I've been talking about the email list for a long time. It's not really connected to this podcast, but I'm doing a meet and greet, not really to meet me, but to meet like other creators online, and I'm probably gonna do it in the metaverse. So
Oh, oh,
so,
okay,
Ajani, I
okay.
don't know if you've seen my latest addition to my website, but I have a
No.
command on my website that says Enter Hack Studios, and it will
Oh.
actually take you to a metaverse room
Oh,
of
okay.
Enter Hack Studios, and you can walk around, you have an avatar, and you can talk to
Oh,
people just like on Zoom. You can have camera and
wow.
video, but
Okay.
I put like the logo for Two Brothers Talking up there, a logo for
Wow.
Hack Studios. I'll show it to you
I'm
after
gonna
this.
have to check it out. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'll show it to you.
Okay.
I'll do it. I could do it now, but it's not prepped or anything. But
Mhm.
yeah, I'm probably gonna do it there instead of just doing a flat Zoom experience. I'm gonna do a meet and greet. So the whole point is for other people on my email list to meet other creators and to expand their networks because that was a huge thing for me last year in 2022. I got in touch with so many great creators through being in various communities,
Mhm.
and I've benefited from that. I've really made some really good, valuable relationships from being a part of communities. So this is after years of doing the whole hermit and creation thing. Ajani knows this well. I don't. I definitely like to come out more often than Ajani does from the whole. I have times where I kind of retreat, but most of the time I like to have like at least a peek out the window and see who's there. And um, so I'm not as reclusive as Ajani is on that front, but uh, Yeah, last year was huge for me, and I think this is very valuable, and now I've gotten to a point to where my personal network is big enough to where I feel comfortable introducing other people to other people, and I
Mm,
know some really, like, people who they're not necessarily famous or making a lot of money, but, hey, give it 2 or 3 years.
mhm,
Maybe you wanna
mhm.
might wanna get to know them, and
Yeah,
I might be one of them. So,
mhm.
and for
Yeah.
nothing else, if you wanna come by, meet me, this is gonna be on January 14th. I always get the days messed up because I'm over here in Japan, most people are not. January 14th at what did I say? 7 AM Japan time, so that's 5 PM on January 13th Eastern Time. If you're
Mm.
confused by the times, don't worry about it. I'm gonna put it in the show notes. Or just rewind that part of the podcast and listen to it
Yeah.
again. But yeah, I'm gonna be putting out something like an official, like I'll make an event page or something like that. And if you're interested in coming to this meet and greet, um, I've already got confirmations from a few people in my network that they are going to be there. So it may be small, it may be, you know, 5, 10 people, but just like I said, right? 5, 10 people in one room.
Mhm.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I don't discount that at all. So you shouldn't either. Small beginnings, great things start small, and we're past the beginnings phase,
Yeah.
Ajani and I both. So if you've been keeping up with Two Brothers Talking, hopefully you're working on your own creativity stuff. You're working on and just getting better and building skills, building your network, and just keep doing it. And hopefully we're helping you a little bit to just advance and get a little bit better, get a little bit sharper. And then last thing I'll say is there was this word. Have you heard of the word cosmopoesis?
No. What is
I
that?
just read this word this morning. It's world building. Somebody used it in an essay.
Huh.
Cosmopoesis is world building.
Huh.
And
Okay. Okay.
it just kind of resonated with me because I'm like, I feel like that's what I'm doing. And
Mm.
in a large sense, that's what you're doing as well,
Mhm.
just through
Okay.
astro stuff and your domains. But same. And I think that's what we all do, like the point of the essay was that we have all of these technological advances happening with AI and computers and nuclear fusion or whatever. And the author was like, what are we going to do with that?
Mhm.
How are we going to use it to create, paradise on earth, or, this utopic like place
Mhm.
where all of us can kind of flourish and prosper? Or is it going to be a different type of world?
Mm.
Something that is some type of exaggeration of what we have now, haves and have nots, disparities, all those types of things. But at the end of the day, everybody's kind of building their own world. Even if you're not a creator or anything, you have your job, you have your family, you have your friends, whatever you have, it's part of your world. It's part of your experience, that cosmopoesis.
Hmm.
So
Interesting.
hopefully this helps you build your world a little bit better. We're all making our own worlds. We're just giving different forms to it. And it's up to you to decide what you want to build and to use technology like ChatGPT for whatever purpose that you need it for. So, and that concludes my TED talk. We'll be putting that at the end of their tweets. They drop like a bomb, like some type of fire thing, and be like, "Yeah,
Uh-huh.
this is world peace. I just explained it." And then they say that concludes my TED talk. All right, y'all. Anyway,
Oh,
Ajani, you got anything else for the people?
nope.
Okay, so if you're trying to find Ajani, you're not gonna find him. If you're trying to find Ajani, just ask me, and I'll try and get a hold of him. No guarantees. As for me, go and check out my website, y'all. I spent probably too much time and had too much fun redesigning it from last year. It's more modern, it's sleeker, it's it's just more condensed, but it's also a lot more interesting. I was kind of inspired by JRPG menu screen, so I kind of put myself as like a character, and you can like look at
Oh, very
stats and things
cool.
like that. Just go check it out. It's a lot of fun.
Very
If you
nice.
want to check
Very
out Hack Studios, go click on Enter Hack Studios, and you can go and have a look in the metaverse. It takes like 5 minutes to make an avatar, and then you can just walk around. Um, and if you're doing it on mobile, by the way, you're in for a treat because you have to download their app. It's called spatial.io. That's how I made the metaverse room. But they have an AR mode, which is trippy, like augmented reality mode. So when you look through your phone, you can see like oh, there's the Two Brothers Talking logo right there on the wall of my closet. This is weird, man. So that's interesting. And then there's also Twitter. Like I said, I'm doubling down on Twitter. Twitter's really my main social media. All the stuff I'm learning, pretty much you follow me in semi real time on Twitter when it comes to my creative stuff. All of my learning threads. I'm learning a ton of stuff right now. I'm still just continuing music, Japanese, coding. I have threads for all of them. If you're interested in any of those things, go ahead and follow me at Keith at KH_author on Twitter. I don't think I have anything else. We're about at the hour, so I'm gonna cut it here. Ajani and I are gonna wrap a little offline, but thanks for joining us. Hopefully we will be a little bit more consistent this year with Two Brothers Talking, but no guarantees. Right. So thanks for listening. Have a happy new year. Welcome to 2023, and we'll see you later. Bye.
See you later.